Hello, my love. Welcome to Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. It is so nice to be here with you. And immediately, look at this. We have a person standing here. Right here, above head, it looks like we have a bird. You can see the head, the wings. This one is the head, the arms of the person. Over here, it looks like we have almost like a giraffe. It looks like a giraffe right here. But it also looks like we have the number. No, we have the letters S-E, S-E. We also have a heart. And over here it looks like we have I almost feel like it's a person presenting a message or a bird to another person here. So we have like a group of people, right? Maybe another one over here. Now, I almost kind of feel like this is like divine revelation. Instead of this being a giraffe, I'm looking at it as like, see how it would be the body and the neck is elongated and the head right here is the bird kind of looking this way. It has a little heart coming out of its mouth, like singing a sweet song. Well, over here we have the bird, right? We have, first though, it looks like the bird, like a bird, right? Kind of standing with its long neck and its head, and then I see him flight. So it almost seems like a story here. Like we have the first scene kind of in contemplation, standing like a heron, a crane, a flamingo, these kind of water birds that just stand there and chill for a while until they get their fish. And I think of this kind of standing bird as a thinker, as a contemplator. So then we have the inspiration, right? You are struck with this beautiful idea, this concept, this grouping of words, this artwork, this, action that you want the world to see. And it is of love, right? It is something that is occurring within your heart sector. Absolutely. But I also feel like it's in its totality as well, right? The whole system is lit up by this inspiration, by this ability to find the message and create something that you can then present to the world. Right? That you can have all these people kind of drawn in to hear what you have to say. And so I do feel like in this next period of time, there is going to be opportunity for you to be getting your word out there. Now, if that's through, maybe you're like making memes, maybe you're online, you blog, you like the posts on one of the social medias or all of them, all of your opinions and ideas and, whatever. Maybe this is like in the real world. Maybe you're doing some kind of advocacy work or, writing something or, I don't know, creating something that has some kind of meaningful, emotional, impactful, message. It doesn't matter what it has to do with exactly, but I do feel like you are going to find your audience and they're going to find you. They will. And so I do feel like this is a time where things are going to start to move quickly, right? As soon as you kind of get this thing going and you deploy it into the greater world, it is going to activate in the zeitgeist. I think it really is something that, at least in your little local community, maybe your family community, maybe, in your greater friends group, or maybe it is, kind of, I'm in that parent mode part of my life, the era of knowing a lot of people because your kids are involved in a lot of stuff. Maybe you have something similar where you are around a lot of different people, and maybe not for the exact reason, that you, with this message that you have, but I do feel like people will be drawn in, right? They want to hear what you have to say. So don't be afraid to say it. Now, all that being said, choose wisely. Okay? We are living in a very uncertain time. I am somebody, if you've watched any of my readings or know me from any era of my life, you might know this about me, especially in my private life. If you are from my private life, you already know. You already know what it is. I believe greatly in freedom of speech. I also believe greatly in self-preservation. Okay? Just because we can say it doesn't mean that we should. Okay? I'm going to stand on that hill or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm going to stay on that hill forever. Now, there are some of us, for whatever reason, we have the thing where we can kind of just say this stuff without always making people angry, and that's probably because a lot of us came from very troubled households where you had to learn how to navigate other people's moods and things like that, and you had to deliver information in a way that wasn't going to make people pop off, right? But not everybody has that ability, and also sometimes, honey, you might not feel the same down the road. You don't always have to tell people what you think either. People don't need to know really that much about you at all, if I'm being honest. I am, somebody who is an oversharer. I always have been. But there are a lot of things in my personal life that I will never talk to you or anybody, about beyond the chosen people. And, in this era that we live in, it's important that we be mindful because we don't know what's happening. We just don't know, right? There's no clarity yet. And I'm not saying that you need to silence yourself, but I am saying that you need to move wisely. You need to choose wisely, okay? Think about the long term, think about self-preservation. So, there are ways to say things. This is the other part of it. There are ways to say things where you don't just say them outright. Okay. So if you do have something to say that you might worry about saying, start reading some, I don't know, go get some books from the like debate team, the art of rhetoric, start learning storytelling. Right? Start learning how to lie. And I mean that with full honesty. Start learning how to, full seriousness. Start learning how to lie. Start learning how to build stories up. There are ways to say things to get the same feeling, emotion, get us to the same point, get us to the same information without being so overt about it. Okay? And we all have to protect ourselves. I mean, I'm just going to say this over and over till the last breath I draw. We need to save self. So mind yourself. I'm not saying mind whatever. Mind yourself. What you know is right for you, what you know is going to keep you, waking up the next day. You know what I'm saying? So, let's see. We also have the, what is that? The crawdad. Again, with the melancholy, which has been a big energy lately. Now, we also have a bust of somebody over here. Look, the face. Here's the, like, where the eyes would be. Kind of, like, crazy looking hair on the sides there. Little shirt, collar, and just kind of the top. Now, we also have the number 72. There we go. 72, 27. It keeps coming up, man. Even this one looks like a backwards 7 and a 2. So this is the number of, right, connection with the beloved, with a beloved. This is a space that is safe, that is you are free to navigate, you are free to build in, destroy in. It is the place where it's the interior temple. It's not the temple. The 72, 20, or 27 is not the temple, but it is the marriage, the bond, the union that happens within the temple. Okay. The act of creating an environment to nurture that union. Okay. It is the building up of the framework. Okay. And so we also have the Scorpion. And I feel that you've had a love with a Scorpion, a Scorpio, somebody, and we have the heart, and we have somebody who, I'm not trying to start nothing over here, but somebody that they've hurt you. I mean, they've really, and here's the deal. It's one of them people where it's like, okay, I feel you. I understand, if like something happened and you reacted, or I saw a clear chain of logic why you might be upset and why you might take it out on me, or you might find some reason to really like go, really go in or whatever, but then there are people that it's like the wind changes, and all of a sudden you're just like, take no prisoners, you know what I mean? With that tongue, with that mouth, with that, really just stinging them one blow after another. And it's hard to understand. I understand it only from the perspective that I can be that person. Absolutely. That's one of the big works of my life, is to control that. I'm going to bring you all the way down if I have to, you know what I mean? I don't like the feeling of it anymore. It used to make me feel powerful. Now I just feel so much regret, and also just like letting something rule me like that rage, you know what I mean? That meanness. Nah, not anymore. This person is the love of your life. This is the love of your life, dude. I get it. It stresses you though. That's the thing, the stress of it. And it does. I feel like it's very, it's very tangled into the melancholy. I feel like at times you vacillate from being somebody that feels like, you're on top of your game. You know what you're doing. You're like the face of this. I'm just not perfect, but you're good. Like you can stand with your chin up and just the glory. You're such a impressive person that they would even make a wild bust of you. You know what I mean? Like, and it's an illusion, right? It's illusion maybe, which we all can fall into. Of course I do, absolutely. But you also vacillate between that and I don't know if it's like wanting to be punished or if there are moments of like falling into, self-consciousness or devaluing of self, or I don't know, maybe you just really like the roller coaster of the ups and downs with somebody. You like somebody who's so engaged with you that you're scared of them. You know what I mean? And listen, it's not ideal. We've pathologized everything in life now. And if it's detrimental to you, then absolutely. I do not advocate that kind of like, turmoil or volatility in a relationship. But, let's face it, some of us really are drawn to these kinds of people. Some of us in certain relationships can be these people, right? What does that mean? I don't know. I know that when I am immersed in love, I do my best work. I do know that. But I don't like feeling unsafe with somebody. Not anymore. I did when I was young, because then it meant like, I don't know. I think it meant like I didn't have to fully be in it because I was always just, I was ready to run. You know what I mean? Like I still do this, and like, I don't know if I'll ever shake it, but like, I have like, it's not even like a go bag. Like I heard about that stuff. I was like, y'all don't keep all your stuff in a backpack in case, like, you don't have like a change of clothes and a bottle of water and stuff ready to go in case something happens. Oh, I've just had a really insane and terrible life. Oh, okay. But it's like, I feel like, I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe I'm doing this reading for therapy. I use this for therapy sometimes. Like, but yes, I mean, I get it. I'm drawn to people like this, definitely. And I'm drawn to feeling the huge emotional, outbursts too. The dopamine, I think they call it like, dirty dopamine, right? Like the fighting, the negative attention, the jealousy, all that stuff. I don't like any of that stuff. I do like sometimes, like the, I'm never going to talk to you again. And then like, I can't live without you. I like a little, sprinkling of that on top, maybe like a little foam, a little nice cold foam, a little cinnamon on top. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to have the whole drink like that. I don't want the whole, just like a little treat. You know what I mean? Like once every few seasons. You know what I mean? Just a little reminder. Just a little like, all right. But here's the deal. This is your person. I'm not saying you're going to end up with them. All right. How many of us end up with our, like, perfect, aligned and sometimes messy, soulmate? I don't know. I don't think a lot of people. If I was like taking a poll among people that I experience, I would say very few, right? So, not for nothing, if you can like maybe, tone it down, let it go for, 30 years of back and forth, maybe at some point you'll be ready to, really just not have the falling out constantly or whatever. But I think that this, or I am a true believer in the unrealized love, right? What does that mean? Like love that maybe, you dabble in it, you see if it works. Oh, it's very powerful, it's very volatile. But then you spend time pining for the person, maybe not always, but throughout your life, right? Because that's like a perfected love. It's like that first love that you have, and like, you're torn apart because you're going to different colleges or whatever, and you never end up back together, but it's always like perfect in your memory. You know what I'm saying? And so when we have something like that, oh, babe, you can derive so much inspiration, energy, potent energy from that if you dwell in it. I'm not saying like sit around and daydream and get on the Facebooks and go look them up. Don't ever do that. Don't do that. Don't look them up. Let them live in your mind's eye. You know what I mean? And yeah, you visit that place and you get the honey and you put it in your jar and you bring it back with you. And you know what I mean? And so do not cast this into the void, I guess is all I'm saying. It is worth something. It feels very potent, actually. Also, EAST, East, if that means anything for you. East. And it looks like we have red. Red as being important. R-E-D. Red. It feels like there's some kind of drama at work, in your business. There's 3 people involved at least. And I feel like it's like an argument over like who mishandled something, or it's nothing like personal. It's just like some kind of clerical thing or legal matter. I think it's really important that you you try not to internalize it, right? You make a very conscious, and I'm looking up here, there's 1, 2, 3 people, a very conscious choice to leave this at work or leave this in that realm of your thinking, right? You're not going to let it spill over. Okay, so we have, what are you? We have a turtle. We have the letters T and T. We have, what is the, is it a rook? Nope, that's the castle-y one. So it must be the knight. The knight's the horse, right? This is terrible. Yeah. If my chess homie is watching this, I'm sorry. I don't, yeah, I don't remember everything. Anyways, we have the knight, okay? And so anyways, we have the knight, we have, we have like two paths here. Okay, we have one that is going to be like a bear, right? You get in there, it is just from the jump, hard, hard, hard. Not ideal, but it really feels like you get locked in much quicker going that way. The other path is longer. It has an A. For some reason, something about it would be like maybe somebody with an A name, or it is located on a street with an A, or something about the A will let you know that this is going to be the path. It's longer, and maybe it's better because you have the time to kind of learn the thing, really begin to understand it in a very functional manner. But it's going to take more time. And one thing I feel like we have less and less of every day is time. And maybe that's just me. But it does feel like there's somewhat of an anxious and almost like a feeling of it being very critical to get this done quicker. So I think, likely there will be a push towards just getting the hard part done first. Okay. And I'm the same way. I like to just get it done. If I don't, I'll forget about it, because if it's not right in front of me, I don't remember things immediately. I think, I don't know. I read somewhere it has to do with ADHD, but I mean, it's true. It's crazy. And also probably CPTSD. My memory is not the best, but I don't remember most of my childhood like that. Like, there are like huge portions of my life I don't remember very much of anything. If I know you, I could even hang out with you. This is especially like when I was younger. Hang out with you like 5-10 times or whatever. If I don't see you or hear from you for like, I don't know, 6-7 years or something like that, like even less maybe, I will not remember certain people at all. Like barely. Maybe I kind of, you know what I mean? Like I won't remember your name, barely. Unless you're like a really like decent, good friend that I'm like, locked in with. I feel like we can really like speak in the same ADHD kind of way or whatever. If I find it hard to know you, or I have to mask around you especially, and even if we hang out often, I will not remember you if you are not in my life constantly. And I don't know. I don't know. I've read that other people have experiences like this, but yeah, I don't know. So anyways, I forget I forget why we were talking about that. 31. The first number is 31. $72, you guys. 72. 27, 72, 45, and 45. All right, I love you. Thank you for being here with me. It is my greatest pleasure in life to be able to connect with you. Hopefully, you feel the same way at times. Sometimes, a little bit, just a little tiny fragment of it. I don't know. I love you. Take care of yourself. Be silly today, please. Do something silly, but be safe. Be safe, be safe, be safe. All right.